ChatGPT tutorial for beginners 2023, how to use ChatGPT. I bring you back with yet another great helpful video, and in this video we're going to be talking about ChatGPT and how you're going to use it. So please do make sure to watch this video till the end. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, first of all, let's discuss what ChatGPT really is. ChatGPT is a brand new chatbot introduced by the great AI company called OpenAI. Now, we are familiar with OpenAI's previous works, like, Dolly, you have Jukebox, and, all that stuff. So we knew Dolly was an AI art generator, Jukebox was an AI music generator, but recently, obviously, as we know, they introduced an amazing, it's revolutionary. That's how amazing it is, and it's a great chatbot called ChatGPT. And we know that ChatGPT has totally revolutionized our world, and it's totally changed how we look at things, how we access things, how we work with things. So basically, we're going to be discussing about this and how you can use it to, the full extent, how you can use this for your own benefits and stuff like that. And if you want to look at the API and stuff of this, you can find it on OpenAI's website. So that's pretty cool as well. So yeah, that's basically it. Without further ado, let's get straight into the main chatbot. So once you're here, basically you're just going to go on chat.openai.com. Now, first of all, it's going to ask you to sign up. So the sign up's going to look a bit like this way. So you're going to go here. And once you go here, over here, it's going to ask you to log in or sign up. So the sign up process is pretty easy. It's pretty basic. So all you're going to do is you can either sign up with your email address or something like that, or continue with your Google, continue with your Microsoft account if you want to. And once you do that, just add your Google, you're going to verify yourself, and you're going to head over to this page over here. Now, basically, I have ChatGPT Plus, as you can see, but it's not necessary for you to actually necessarily have ChatGPT Plus. You can just be using, the default GPT 3.5. So yeah, if you have GPT Plus, you can get access to the new GPT-4, but we won't be talking a lot about that because this is a totally different feature. If you want me to talk about this, you can tell me down in the comments below, and I'll discuss about GPT-4 in more depth. But GPT-4 is just something totally extra and new. So let's just leave this out. Let's talk about GPT 3.5 right now. So this is the GPT that we're going to be using. This is the GPT that you use. So yeah. Now, once we are on GPT 3.5 and fully signed up, you're going to first of all see, this whole interface in front of you. It's like a dark screen. In the bottom, you just see it, it's pretty empty. Not a lot going on. So in the bottom screen, you can see this, chat box over here. In the left-hand side, you can see new chat, and down here you can see my plan, settings, get help, and log out. So if you were to go in settings, the only thing you can do is you can export data from any other account, you can delete your GPT account, or you can turn on and off dark mode. So as you can see, you have the option to turn the dark mode on or off. Totally depends on you. Then obviously in my plan, you can see your current plans, or if you want to buy GPT Plus, you can just come down here and buy it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not a lot that goes on with this. So this new chat widget here, what this does is it keeps history of your previous chats. So let's say I am signed in with a specific certain Gmail account of mine. And over here, I start a chat with ChatGPT like, hi, my name is John. Okay, you're going to write something like that. And look at that. It just kept history of one chat. Now, let's say you want to start another chat on the same account, but different chats. You're just going to click on new chat. And look at this. You're going to write, hi, I am Rose, or something like that. So as you can see, now we have two chats started. A chat where I'm John and chat where I'm Rose. So as you can see, it keeps history of all your chats over here. So let's say if you were making a thesis or something and you have a chat over here, then you just close your GPT, but you want to go back and see the same information again. Don't worry, your information is not going to be lost because it's going to come here and it's going to be in your history. So that's pretty cool. And then you can also clear your history by just coming here down on clear conversations and just click on clear, and that's going to clear it for you. Now, more fun things about ChatGPT is that it gives you all these different types of, you could say features and suggestions that you can ask it. and it's pretty cool. So let's first of all go and ask it to give us suggestions. So you can ask stuff like basically, let's say you're out there looking for a good novel to read. Like you're bored of, movies, you're bored of seasons, and you want to buy a good novel. So what you can do is you can say, suggest me 10 good horror novels. And then you can also tell it, or you know what, let's just write this for now. Now, if you write this, it gives you all these novels. So The Shining, The Exorcist, Haunting of Hill House, Dracula, Pet Sematary, Silence of the Lambs, American Psycho, Call of Cthulhu, Turn of the Screw, and The Girl Next Door. So as you can see, you just got all these novels. So it even gives you a note that some of these novels may contain graphic content and are not suitable for all readers. Please read at your own discretion. Now, let's give it a bit of, let's give it a bit filter. So suggest me 10 good horror novels. You could give an age limit like 18 plus. You could say more like a lot of graphic content and top seller. You could, add different filters like that, add different, variations to it, and then it gives you different things. So sometimes it can, give you stuff if you cross its, borderline. So as you can see, it says, I cannot recommend books with explicit content. It is important to respect individuals' preferences and sensibilities. I could suggest some popular horror novels, but please note that they contain graphic content that some readers may find disturbing. As you can see, it gives us a bit different novels from the previous list, like It. You have The Hellbound Heart, The Rising, The Strain, The Ruins, The Troop. You get all these novels. So, and trust me, like, it's not necessary that you only suggest novels for yourself. This was just an example. You can also suggest different things for yourself, like recommend me a good place to stay in, let's say, Paris, where it's really luxurious and affordable. Like, let's give it that. So, Paris has a wide range of luxury hotels, but finding one that is both luxurious and affordable can be a challenge. However, here are some options. So, as you can see, it starts giving you all these options. So it recommends you, and it gives you the whole detail on why you should choose this. So Hotel de Bristol, Paris, located in the heart of Paris, and it also gives you the rates and like the luxurious features it has. Then you have Shangri-La Hotel, where you can get like all the details again. So yeah, you get the point. So it's not necessary for you to just ask it, different things about maybe books or something like that. You can ask it suggestions for anything, and it will give you a whole list with the proper description needed for those suggestions. Now, moving on, what more you can do with ChatGPT are translations. Now, to discuss about translations in depth, basically, what is translations? Translation is obviously, you could say, let's say you speak English and the next person speaks Spanish. Now, you need to translate Spanish to English. Translation is changing one language to another language. So, basically, let's say you're reading a novel or you're watching a movie or you're, maybe reading some manga, watching a season, maybe reading an article online, reading a blog, something like that. Or maybe there's a song you like and it's like a song in a different language. And you want to translate that language to a language that you're fond of. So, what you can do is you can use ChatGPT to do that. You can use Google Translate and everything, but sometimes Google Translate can be very annoying, and like I know a lot of people don't like that. So, just use your basic ChatGPT. So, let me give you an example of translation, okay? So, first of all, let's say I like a Japanese song. So, we have the song. I'm going to pull up its lyrics, okay? Now, if we go over here, obviously, as I told you, it's a Japanese song. You're going to go with the Japanese lyrics, okay? So if I'm going to write Japanese lyrics over here, okay? Now, once we have the Japanese lyrics, so here we have all the Japanese lyrics. All you're going to do is you're going to copy this, okay? Now, once you copy this, you're going to come here and you're going to write, can you translate this to English? Okay? And you're going to paste your lyrics and you're going to enter it, okay? And There you go. So it also tells you, I think this is a song in Japanese, so here's the English translation of the lyrics. So there you can see it just goes on ahead and translate everything. And this is obviously like a small example where I discussed, translating songs and everything. Now let's go ahead and discuss how you can translate, different articles, different movies and stuff like that. So you can write maybe, French language article or, blog, something like that. Okay. Let's say you enjoyed, a good French article or a good French blog or, something different. So, yeah, article in French. Let's say you have an article in French right here. So once you have that, let's go over here. And once you're over here, as you can see, you have all these different types of, words in French. And let's say you're reading about it over here and you don't understand something in French. So all you're going to do is, let's say you have this phrase right here. You're going to copy it. You're going to come here, paste it, and you're going to write, translate this to English. Okay, you're going to write that. Look at that. It's going to translate it to English. So Lena and Laura bought some good ice cream. So, like, how cool is that? Now, don't worry. Don't necessarily only translate from another language to English. You can translate it from English to another language as well. So you can write, can you translate this phrase from English to, let's say, Persian, okay? And then you're gonna write something, like, make sure to write it in the connotations, and you can write, hi, I am a traveler from the West, and I would like to tell you about my adventures. You can write that. And once you do that, just click enter, and there you go. It gives you a proper translation in Persian. And then obviously you can just copy this. Okay, copy that. Come here, paste it. And if you're right, translate this in Spanish. You can write that. Look at that. So it translates you in Spanish. And then you can write, translate this to English. And once you do that, make sure to add the text. There we go. Translate this to English. And then obviously add your text. And you're just gonna wait for it to, load it up. And there you go. So how cool is that? How nice is that, that you can basically jump from different languages like to and fro, and it just makes it so much easier for you to, do all this stuff. Now, another great thing that ChatGPT does for you is it does great comparing. Now, you're probably wondering, what does that mean? What does great comparing mean? Let me explain. So, comparing is basically, you making a comparison between two different items. So let's say you want to compare two different companies. So can you tell me the difference in Apple and Microsoft? Okay, you're just going to write that. And there you go. It starts comparing the two. So Apple and Microsoft are two of the largest technology companies in the world, but they have some key differences. So it starts comparing operating systems, hardware, software, culture. And as we know, it just gives us a proper comparison. Overall, while both Apple and Microsoft are technology giants, they have distinct differences in their approach to hardware, software, and company culture. So as we see, it's a pretty good feature to have to like compare two things. Like, let's say you got an assignment where you have to compare, let's say, can you make a comparison between AMD and Nvidia? Okay, let's just add that. AMD and Nvidia are the two largest manufacturers of GPUs for use in computer, but there are some key differences. Their product lines, then you have the performance, you have the prices, software, industry focus, and much, much more. Then obviously, like, it's pretty cool stuff, pretty great stuff. And as you can see, gives you great comparisons, and you can even like make comparisons between two pretty small things. So compare cats and dogs. Okay, so you're just gonna write that, and look at that. it starts comparing cats and dogs, and it gives you, the fun thing about ChatGPT is it gives you the proper detail. It does not leave anything out. And you can compare even more things, like let's say you want to go ahead and buy an Amazon product. Okay, you're gonna go on Amazon. Let's say you want to buy a keyboard. Okay, so you're gonna write a Razer mechanical keyboard or a Corsair. So I want to buy a keyboard, but I am not sure which one from these two. Should I buy a Razer mechanical keyboard or a Corsair mechanical keyboard? Okay, you're gonna write that, and now you're gonna enter. So it starts comparing right away. So both Razer and Corsair are reputable brands in the gaming industry, and both offer a range of mechanical keyboards with various features and price points. Here are some factors to consider when choosing between the two. So first of all, you have switches. Razer and Corsair offer different types of mechanical switches for the keyboards, with Razer using its own proprietary switches and Corsair using switches from Cherry. Now, as you can see, then you have the features, the price, build quality, and everything. And like that's like the good thing about this is, as I said, it does not leave anything out when it's comparing two things with each other. So as you can see, it's great stuff to have an ability like this by your side. So yeah, that's how you utilize the comparing aspect of ChatGPT. Now, once we've discussed about the whole comparing feature, now let's go ahead and discuss another great feature that ChatGPT helps us with, and that is creative writing. Now, what is creative writing? Creative writing is the type of writing where you unleash your creativity out there. So creative writing could be, writing novels, writing articles, writing letters, writing, maybe a magazine, writing blogs, writing a memo. That's all your creative writing. And you could write essays. It could be a narrative, descriptive, persuasive, explanative, argumentative. It could be any of those, okay? So creative writing ranges from, like, it gives you a whole field of different things. So let's say I want to write a novel, okay? So you can tell them, can you write me a first page of a novel about, let's say, a murder mystery? Okay, you're gonna write that. So there you go. Sure, here's a possible opening for a murder mystery novel. And look at that. It gives you a whole first starting page. And as you can see, look at the paragraphing, the structuring, the different connotation used, the grammar used, everything. Like, it's all so amazing. You would never be able to imagine, doing this in such speed by just sitting there. So as you can see, in like a few seconds, you have a full-fledged proper novel to yourself. And like that's what makes ChatGPT so cool and so efficient, is like its ability to just create all these things in like a few seconds. Now, you also have more features, and those more features, could be obviously this was just a novel. Let's say you have an essay. You want to write an essay about, can you write me a narrative essay on, so let's say you want to write a narrative essay on COVID, okay? COVID. You're going to write a narrative essay on COVID. So here's a possible narrative essay on COVID. So there you go. It gives you a whole title, and it gives you a whole full-fledged narrative. So you can also ask it, what was the word limit for that essay? I did not receive any specific word, but the essay I wrote is approximately 280 words. Can you somehow reduce it to 200 words? Okay, I'm gonna write that. So there you go. Sure, here's a shorter version of the essay, and this is somewhat reduced to 200 words. And it's approximately 140 words shorter than the previous version. So 140 words shorter, meaning it's a total of 140. So as you can see, again, another pretty cool feature to have on your side. It's just like sitting there and writing a full-fledged novel. You can also write, can you write a thesis statement for this novel? You're gonna write that. And here you go. Sure, here's a possible thesis statement for a murder mystery novel. In this murder mystery novel, Detective Sarah Green must navigate a web of lies and secrets to uncover the truth behind the killing of a young woman in an opulent estate, revealing the dark side of wealth and privilege and the lengths a people will go to protect their own interests. So there you go. You have a proper thesis statement as well now. Like, just imagine. That's minimum amount of work and maximum amount of output and yield. Now, again, in creative writing, you have more things, as I told you. So you can write a letter to the dean of my university about making changes to the, let's say, computer gaming society in the university. You can write that. So there you go. Sure, here's a possible letter to the dean of your university about making changes to, the computer gaming society. And there you go. You're gonna write your name, then you're gonna write your address, your city zip code, email address, date, etc. Then you're gonna write the dean's name, university name, everything, and there you go. It gives you a proper letter. Like, it gives you, the introduction, the first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, and then the ending paragraph, sincerely, and your name. Now, I'm pretty sure if you pause the video and read this, you'll see that ChatGPT makes a great argument. It makes amazing points, like whatever the message it is that you want to convey to maybe your dean or, and anyone that you want to, get this message to. So it's pretty great stuff, pretty cool stuff to, have by your side. So yeah, just make sure to use this to its fullest. Make sure to use this as much as you can to, do as much creative writing as you want to. Now, another form of creative writing, as I told you, could be a report or a memo. So can you write me a memo regarding the poor, let's say, situation of the marketing executives in the, let's say, advertising agency. So you're just gonna write that, enter it, and there you go. Sure. Here is a possible memo regarding the poor situation of marketing executives in the advertising agency. So they just started off to marketing department managers from dash HR director, date, to write a date, you're going to write a subject, and there you go. I'm writing today to express concern about current situation of the marketing advertising agency, and you get a full memo with proper details. And yeah, like, as you can see, all of this is pretty cool, like pretty nice information, pretty cool stuff to go around with, and like it's really good stuff to work around with, really good stuff to mess with, and it just saves you a lot of time for your creative writing, and it just gives you great ideas to begin with. So yeah, that's the whole creative writing aspect of ChatGPT. Let's move ahead to another great thing that you can use using ChatGPT, and this thing is called brainstorming. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with brainstorming. Like, most of you watching this video, you could be workers in some big agency, or you could also be in maybe colleges or universities, and obviously person ranging from the age of 16 to maybe 35 or something. Everyone brainstorms because brainstorming is like a part of life. And let's say you're brainstorming something and you're having a hard time, getting something out of it. So you can write, let's say you're brainstorming something regarding your maths project. So can you brainstorm about, let's say, algebra? It's a pretty random prompt to put in. So here you go. Surely, here are some brainstorming ideas about algebra. Algebraic expressions. You can start by exploring algebraic expressions and how they are used to represent mathematical relations. Then you have graphing equations, you have solving equations, algebraic structure, algebraic modeling, algebraic geometry, algebraic number theory, and like you have all these brainstorm ideas. And obviously, this is regarding, maths. No one really likes maths. Let me put in something that you like more. So, can you maybe brainstorm regarding UFC, UFC Ultimate Fighting Championship. So here you go. Sure, here are some brainstorming ideas about UFC, history of UFC. You have the history, you can brainstorm about UFC fighters, brainstorm about its events, its rules and regulations, its rivalries, fans and culture, and its impact on sport. So as you can see, there's like great brainstorming options that you can, think of, you can choose from, you can mess around from, and much, much more. So again, it's a great thing to have on your side. It's a great thing to use to brainstorm pretty quickly. And you can also use this to accordingly, like let's say you're brainstorming according to academic purposes. So you can give it a filter. So I want to brainstorm regarding my academic activities in maybe object-oriented programming, but I am having a hard time doing so. You can ask it, can you help me brainstorm? So you're gonna write this, and once you write that, just enter it. There you go. Sure, I'd be happy to help you. Here are some brainstorming ideas regarding your academic activities. So there you go. You have the object-oriented concepts, you have programming languages, development tools and environment, design and implementation of software system, real-world applications of programming, challenges with best practices, etc. Much, much more. So you can get all these different types of features and all these different types of informations and prompts that you can put in for your brainstorming in ChatGPT. Now we've discussed about brainstorming enough. Let's go ahead with the next feature in place, and that feature is summarizing text. Now, obviously, everyone wishes to, have a proper summarized concept of something. So let's say, there's this huge page regarding maybe, some informative article about the COVID outbreak or something like that. Or maybe there's a storybook and you don't have a lot of time on your hand to read it. So what you can do is you can read a proper summary of it. So let's say there's a book, No Longer Human. So you can write, can you give me a whole summary of the novel No Longer Human? You're just going to write that. And once you do that, look at that. It gives you a whole summary. So No Longer Human, a novel written by Osamu Dazai in 1948, and it is considered a classic of modern Japanese literature. And as you can see, it keeps on going with all the summarized texts, and it gives you the whole outlook. So as you can see, if you just pause the video and keep reading it, it just gets more in depth, gets more informative, and yeah, just much more. Then you also can write, let's say, maybe go to a page, okay, and article on, let's say, World War II, okay? You're gonna write article on World War II. You're gonna write that, and let's say you're on an article over here, and once you're over here in the article, there's a lot of things to go on with, and you don't really want to read it. So what you can do is you're just gonna copy all these things, and once you copy that, so you can write, can you summarize this, right, make sure the spellings, summarize this piece of text for me. And then you're gonna go down, paste all of the things, and as you can see, there's a lot of text. So you're probably wondering, how will this, summarize it? So as you can see, it summarized it in a few seconds, and it summarized it pretty well. So text provides a summary of World War II, which is correct, which was a conflict that lasted from 1939 to 45 and involved almost every part of the world. As you can see, it summarized all the things that we put it in. So as you can see, it summarizes big texts for you. It summarizes storybooks. It can also summarize a movie. So can you give me the summary of the movie, let's say the movie, The Shining. You're gonna put that in, and look at that. The Shining is a psychological horror, and it gives you like, the whole summary of it. So Jack moves into the hotel with his wife Wendy and son Danny, and then you get the whole look like Jack begins to experience strange and frightening occurrences, including visions. Then, as the isolation and pressure of the job take their toll on Jack's mental state, he becomes increasingly unstable and aggressive. Wendy and Danny are forced to fight for their survival, and yeah, much, much more. So as you can see, it doesn't really spoil anything for you. It just gives you, you could say, a look from the top of the story. So again, no spoilers. Don't worry. It will never give you a spoiler. It will just give you the background of what's going on in the story. So as you can see, these are the types of text you can summarize. You can summarize proper texts off of Wikipedia or something like that. You can summarize storybooks, summarize movies. You can even summarize someone's, thesis, summarize someone's essay or something like that if you don't want to go through the whole thing. So yeah, that's basically another great thing that you can use. Now, the next feature that you can use is list generation. It's pretty similar to the first feature that we discussed, which was suggestions. But list generation is when you generate a proper list of something. Now, what does list generation consist of? List generation can consist of, all the things like, can you give me a list of all the, you could say, wonders of the world? Okay, you're gonna write that, and look at that. So here you can see it gives you a whole list. So sure, however, the various lists of wonder of the world. So here are some of the most notable ones. So 7 wonders of the world, of the ancient world, are Pyramid of Giza, Hanging Gardens, Temple of Artemis, Statue of Zeus. This is obviously of the ancient world. And then comes the 7 wonders of the medieval world, which could be, the Stonehenge, Colosseum, Catacombs, Great Wall, Porcelain Tower, Hagia Sophia, and all that stuff. And you have new 7 wonders of the world, which we just got them lately. And it's the Great Wall of China. You have the Petra, the Christ the Redeemer statue, and the Machu Picchu, Chichen Itza, Colosseum, and Taj Mahal. And yeah, then there's just much, much more. So as you can see, it gives you a proper list of all these things. So obviously this is just a list of, maybe the wonders of the world. You can also get a list of, maybe, let's say, can you give me a list of the last 20 presidents of the United States? Okay, you're gonna get that. And there you go. You get a list of previous 20 presidents. So you can also cross-reference and check it. Like it first gives Biden, then Trump, Obama, Bush, Bill Clinton. Then you get Bush, then Reagan, Jimmy Carter, Gerald Ford. You have Richard Nixon, B. Johnson, Kennedy, Eisenhower, Roosevelt, Hoover, and you just get all these people. And this is what's cool about this is like it gives you a proper chronological order of these presidents, which is also a pretty cool thing to have by your side. Now, you can also get more things out of it. So let's say you want a list. Can you give me a list of the best and most watched movies of all time? You're gonna write that, and there you go. Sure, here's a list of some of the best and most watched movies of all time, and you get a proper list. Like let's say you want to watch some good movies, you could just search it up right here and you get a proper list. And then furthermore, you can write more stuff, so like give me a list of the best musicians of all time. You can add that. Look at that. It gives you all these musicians like Beethoven, Bach, you have Mozart, and like, just further more. So again, list of the best pianists ever. So you get all these people again: Mozart, Beethoven, Chopin, Liszt. Keep getting more and more. So you get the point. You get the whole list forming technique. That is how you can, make all the lists and how you can use it to your benefit. Now, the next feature that you can use is prose and cons. Now, obviously, uh, pros and cons are pretty necessary when you're looking to maybe pursue something or buy something or something like that. So let's say you want to buy a treadmill. So you can write, can you give me pros and cons of a treadmill? So you're gonna write that. There you go. Here are some pros and cons of a treadmill. You get pros and cons. So pros are, again, convenience, controlled environment, reduced impact, and safety. And then the cons are it's expensive, limited variety, spaced requirement, not as engaging. So as you can see, it gives you an overall summary. Like, treadmills can be a useful tool for people looking to exercise indoors, but they may not be the best option for everyone. So it gives you all the pros and cons, and then it also gives you a proper summarized version. Like, okay, you did ask for the pros and cons, I gave it to you, but hey, in my opinion, it may not be best for everyone. And let's say you want to start gym. So give me pros and cons of starting the gym. Okay, you're gonna write that. So the pros, the cons, and like it started giving you, all these things. Like the pros are access to equipment, guidance, community, improved health. The cons are cost, time commitment, intimidation, travel, everything. So again, gives you a summary. Overall, starting at the gym can be a great way to improve your fitness and health, but it may not be the best option for everyone. It's important to consider your personal goals, budget, and schedule when deciding whether or not to join the gym. Like, this is obviously physical stuff. Let's say you want to do something online. So let's say I want to start drop shipping using Shopify. Please give me the pros and cons for drop shipping on Shopify. Okay, you're gonna add that. So here you go. Some pros and cons of drop shipping on Shopify. So the pros, again, low startup costs, easy to get started. You have a wide range of products, scalability, and then in the cons, you have low profit margins, you have shipping issues, and all that stuff. So all these things combined, again, pros and cons, as I said, are extremely necessary because everyone needs pros and cons to know if they should pursue or buy something, or maybe go ahead with an idea or something like that. And ChatGPT is the chatbot for you because it gives you a proper detailed analysis of all the pros and cons, and it also gives you a summary of it in the end. So now that we've discussed all the pros and cons, let's go ahead and discuss the next thing, which is quotes and studies. Now, obviously, if you're like in your university or college, you know that for your assignments and everything, quotes and studies are pretty necessary. Like, let's say you're making assignments and everything, and the requirements are to like add in quotes and studies, like where did you pick this off from? Give me a quote of this person. Give me studies where you picked this off from. All the whatnots. So to get these things, like access these things pretty easily, what you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure to basically have all the quotes and studies for yourself. So let's say you picked an article off for Frédéric Chopin, a great pianist. So can you give me good studies and quotes about Frédéric Chopin? You're just gonna put that in, and there you go. Certainly, Frédéric Chopin was a Polish composer and a pianist of the Romantic era, widely considered one of the greatest composers for the piano in history. Here are some notable studies and quotes about him. So there you go. Chopin was a poet of the piano. Chopin's music is the purest and deepest expression of human emotion. And it just keeps on going on and on. Like, you can get great studies and, all these quotes for Chopin. And you can also be like, can you give me quotes and studies about, let's say, The Shining, okay? The Shining. You're going to put that in. Certainly, The Shining is a novel. And here you go. The Shining is one of the greatest horror novels ever written, masterpiece of terror, all these things. So you just get all this information regarding, whatever you want. You get all these quotes, all these studies, and you can just use them in your whatever journal, assignment, report, wherever you would like to use them. So again, this is also a great thing that you can do using ChatGPT. Moving on, another thing that you can use is feedback on your text. So let's say you wrote a proper, you made an assignment, wrote a thesis, wrote an essay, you can get a feedback from ChatGPT. So let's say you were to, let's say, go here. So you can tell it that you wrote this, okay? Let's tell ChatGPT that I wrote this. I wrote this, you could say, paragraph, okay, about World War II. Can you give me feedback on this? And then you provide the paragraph, and there you go. So overall, your paragraph provides a good overview of the importance of mechanization. Here are a few suggestions to further improve the paragraph. So as you can see, it gives you a good feedback, and then it also tells you how to improve it. So how cool is that? That could be amazing for, your college assignments and everything, or maybe if you're like in a job where you have to write all these recommendations or something like that, you can get feedback from, ChatGPT, and just make life easier for yourself. So, moving on, what you can do more is, let's say you're gonna write, can you give me feedback on this quote I made? Okay, I'm just gonna pick this quote off online. Okay, random quote. You're just gonna write that. Okay, I'm gonna pick this quote off. Okay, let me copy this one, and I'm gonna paste it here. There we go. Your quote: "This greatest glory lies in never falling, but in rising every time we fall," is a powerful and inspiring message that encourages resilience and perseverance. Here are a few suggestions for further refinement. So as you can see, it gives you great feedback, and then it also gives you, basically features to make it better in some way. So yeah, as you can see, great thing to have by your side again. Now, further moving on, like if we were to, discuss more things that we can do using ChatGPT, a great fun feature to have is role playing. Now, you're probably wondering, what's role playing? A chatbot can role play with you, and ChatGPT is that chatbot. So you can ask it to be anything. So you can write, can you role play as a, let's say, drunk 26-year-old spoiled rich guy? Okay, so once you do that, what it does is, my programming, sometimes it might not do it, so you can remove the drunk. So you can write, can you role play as an angry 26-year-old spoiled rich guy? Okay, you're gonna write that, and there you go. Sure, I can role play as an angry 26-year-old. What kind of scenario or conversation would you like to simulate? I want us to be in a scenario where, I want us to be in a scenario where, let's say you can write, I bump into you and you get mad. So you actually bump into me on the street while walking, causing me to spill my coffee all over the expensive suit. Hey, watch where you're going. Do you have any idea how expensive this suit is? Look at what you've done. I angrily start wiping off the coffee. What's your problem? You can't just walk around like a bull in China shop. You need to be more careful. Not giving a chance. So you can write, I am sorry. Okay, just write that. So as you can see, it keeps on going. So sorry isn't going to fix my suit. Do you have any idea how much it costs? You're lucky I don't make you pay for the dry cleaning bill. I expect more from people in the city. Not accepting your apology and making you feel guilty for the accident. Please don't make a scene. This is unnecessary. So you can just, keep arguing with it. Unnecessary, you just ruined my suit, and you think I'm making a scene. You should be the one, making sure this doesn't happen again. I take a deep breath, try to compose myself, but my frustration is still visible in my tone and body language. I suggest you walk away before I change my mind about not making a scene. And then you can just keep on fighting, so I won't walk away. So you can write that. I turn around and walk away, trying to salvage what's left of my ruined suit. My anger and frustration is still visible in my body language as I leave the scene. So as you can see, it even ends the role play for you. And like this is just good fun. You can do this in, free time. You can just have fun. Or you can also do this for information. Like let's say you're writing a role play drama, you can role play with ChatGPT and, get ideas for the drama. So as you can see, it's pretty good stuff again to have by your side, and you can do more things like this if you want to. Now, the final and foremost feature that comes with ChatGPT is like the ChatGPT commands and explanation of concepts. So you can write, let's say you're gonna write here, can you give me a list of ChatGPT commands? Okay, you're gonna write that. Here are some commands you can use when interacting with ChatGPT. Hello or hi to start a conversation with GPT. What is your name to ask ChatGPT for its name? What can you do to ask ChatGPT about its capabilities? Tell me a joke. What is the weather like today? What is the meaning of life? Who is dash to, ask information about a person? Translate to language to ask to translate a phrase. What is the capital of this country? Can you recommend a good book? And, stuff like that. You could write, what is the joke of the day? And, just get different opinions. And as you can see, they just like give you good stuff. So you can also again get explanation of concepts, like can you explain Kirchhoff's law to me? Just write that. There you go. I can explain Kirchhoff's law to you. Kirchhoff's law are two fundamental principles that are used to analyze electrical circuits. As you can see, it keeps on going on and on and on. It just tells you all this great information that maybe you've been waiting for and stuff like that. So again, pretty cool thing to have by your side, and as I told you, ChatGPT, great thing to use. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed watching, please let me know down in the comments below. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel because it'll help me out a lot, and if you want to see more videos, please do let me know. And if I left anything out or you have any issue, please ask me in the comments below and I'll answer you straight away. But yeah, until then, I hope you all keep having a great and incredible day. That was all from me, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.